I am Andrew Bustamante, a former covert CIA intelligence officer and founder of the Everyday Espionage training platform. Ask me anything. I share the truth about espionage. After serving in the U.S. Air Force and the Central Intelligence Agency, I have seen the value and impact of well-organized, well-executed intelligence operations. The same techniques that shape international events can also serve everyday people in their daily lives. I have witnessed the benefits in my own life and the lives of my fellow agency officers. Now my mission is to share that knowledge with all people. Some will listen, some will not. But the future has always been shaped by those who learn. I have been verified privately by the IAMA moderators. Farewell, I am humbled by the dialogue and disappointed that I couldn't keep up with the questions. I did my best, but you all outpaced me consistently to the end and beyond. Well done, all. Reach out anytime and we'll keep the information flowing together. Hopefully UP is still reading this thread. About a year or two ago there was an AMA from another former CIA field agent who was releasing a book about his experience. He ended his AMA after another poster made a comment something along the lines of oak or hickory, in reference to what type of wood he wanted his coffin to be. The op replied to the commenter essentially telling him and any other former field agents who were apparently harassing him to FK off. Is it common for those who serve in the intelligence field to have a disdain for those who retire from service? You hit a very sensitive topic here, well done. The short answer is yes. When an agency person leaves, they essentially become a punching bag for anyone still on the inside. The disdain increases exponentially if the leaving officer writes a memoir or takes on any kind of public image. In many ways, it's an insider shaming tool to keep people in place. It is also a bit of a sucker punch because anytime an officer leaves and succeeds, it makes everyone who chose to stay in place second guess their decision. So there is a balance to be met. But as far as violence against one another, that would be contrary to every fiber of any public servant. We can disagree, we can fight, but we don't harm one another. That is just us doing the enemy's job for them. Are there really big secrets that you know, that could land you / the country in terrible trouble if it came out to the public? Yes. And I wish I could forget them. What are some signs that people are being mischievous, or other psychological tricks you may know? Never trust a quiet person. They are listening, and learning, and that makes them the smartest person in the room. Is it true that on foreign soil, one call will summon black subs to take you to safety? Just curious. Yes, but with different delivery times. Smiling face with sunglasses. What would you say is the number one rule for undercover agents? Listen. Don't talk. Given the ease with which we can communicate electronically today, is there still a role in modern tradecraft for dead drops? Same question on numbers stations, but because they are known to still exist, I presume the answer is yes. If anything, the growing dependency and usage of digital technology underscores the value of classic tradecraft like dead drops. I would take a physical dead drop over a digital transmission any day. Way fewer risks, greater control, and no permanent record. What's the closest you can get to talking about a past mission without getting in trouble, and can you give us a story that gets that close to the line? I had to run counter-surveillance against a rogue state target in a third world country in 2011. I was supporting a second officer on the ground who had to do face-to-face meetings despite not knowing the mental state or intentions of the target. This is the worst type of operation to run because we have no information and no control, but the potential payout is significant enough to outweigh the risk. When we got eyes on the target and observed their behavior, they were highly unpredictable, wearing winter clothes in a hot climate, appearing openly hostile and aggressive to strangers on the street, clearly disheveled and surly. Because the operating window was so limited, we had to make a decision whether or not to allow the meeting or render the target separately. We ultimately decided to allow the in-person meeting in a public space only to find out that the target wasn't strapped with dynamite or intending to kill our officer, but rather he had a nasty flu but was dedicated enough to talking to an American that he made the trip anyway. After he vomited on the officer's shoes, we were able to collect enough intelligence to put a dent in that rogue state's operational objectives for over a year. What are some key skills you'd recommend for someone wanting to pursue a career in intelligence? What graduate programs would you recommend for someone in intelligence? Key skills would include mastering short-term memory and mastering conversational dynamics. As far as graduate programs go, look into anthropology, foreign area studies, and sociology. If you go into the hard sciences, you could also end up in intelligence but less likely in the field. How often does America have a near miss that the general population is completely oblivious about? I think more importantly, America